Uniform speed limits in school zone to 20 miles per hour. Commissioner McCann, you're on the board.
Yes, we have a traffic study on this, and the traffic study was done in January of 2024. It showed, from the, the speeding tickets and, as far as safety was concerned, and Chapter 3.16 of the State Uniform Traffic Control says that you can have a maximum of 20 and a minimum of 15. We have a combination of both on our county roads. We have a lot of people that are getting citations, and, they're complaining about it. We had a lot of people that got warnings. They're also complaining about it. This is countywide, by the way, that they're complaining. So the thing is that I've been asked to say, can we make uniform speed on roads that we control, not state roads, roads that we control within a county, to the level of 20 miles an hour, which has been proven safe.
Okay. My only two things is I don't believe, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think I've ever voted in favor of increasing a speed limit in my entire 4 years on this board. I hate increasing speed. I much prefer lowering speed. If we're going to make them uniform, honestly, I would vote for this right now if you made them all 15 miles an hour. I don't understand. I mean, unless I had the sheriff and Chad Choate and Wysong and people coming here that had vested interest in these telling me that 20 miles an hour, because there's some that are 15, I don't know why, but I do know I looked, and there's some that the regular speed limit on the road is 25. The regular, like not even lights blinking. So they drop down to 15. If you just drop down to 20, you could speed up to 30 miles an hour before you even get a ticket and actually be going 5 miles over the normal speed limit on that road. There's a reason why that road is 25 miles an hour. It's probably a dangerous, narrow road with limited crosswalks. I don't know. There's lots of school zones, but there's a reason why these are different. And I don't have explanation why. So I will happily make them uniform. I think that's a good idea. I would happily make them uniform 15, and then we could always revert back to why they should be increased later. But if I'm going to willy-nilly change things, I don't want to increase speeds in front of schools. We just went through a whole thing putting cameras out in front of them because of the safety of the children. If you really want to fix people's issues with these cameras, get rid of the stupid ticketing between the blinking lights in the middle of the day. I think that's asinine. That's strictly a money grab kind of play, and that's why we got rid of red light cameras. So I'm 100% on board with getting rid of. But if we're going to make them uniform, fine. I'd rather lower them unless I have some sort of abundance of proof on why I should increase speeds in front of elementary schools. But I like the concept.
Yes, Evan Pilichowski, Deputy County Administrator. To your question about why are there different speed limits, there is a Florida statute. It is 316.1895, and the FDOT Speed Zone Manual, which states that a speed limit of 30 miles an hour or less would be posted at 15 miles an hour for a speed limit for a school zone, and at 35 miles an hour or more, it is at 20 miles an hour for the school speed limit. And those speed limits, the regular speed limit is set based on individual traffic studies for that site.
Right. So we have deviations because they're on roads have deviations, and there's DOT regulations that determine what the speed limits in the school zones are.
Correct.
Does it prevent us from changing the 20s down to 15s? Is that a maximum? Is that a ceiling, or is that just a set 15 or 20?
There is some language in there about going below 15. I'm not sure about going from the 20 down to a 15 for the speed limits that are 35 miles an hour or more, but you can't go above.
Because making them all uniform makes sense to me, but I'd just rather make them uniform at 15. But you're seemingly saying there's a reason they were 15 and 20 miles an hour.
Correct.
Okay. Still like to get rid of the tickets in the middle of the lights, though.
Let's see. All good?
You're on the board.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I think, yeah, I've gotten everyone's got complaints. I get all the emails. I think the inconsistency is a problem, so I agree with Commissioner McCann on that. I see you also nodded your head and quite a few of my colleagues did too, about the speed, the ticketing outside the school hours. Do you want to address that? Want to entertain the motion to address that? I mean, we're talking about it, but I mean, if you.
Well,
I mean,
again,
it
what-
seems like the underlying need is, we can improve. Well, here,
What
let me talk it out real quick.
ahead.
So the consistency is a problem, 100%. When I'm on Anna Maria and I'm going out there in the middle during school hours, it's 25. If I get off 59th Street, go up to 75th through King Middle, it's like 20 and 20. And the signage is incorrect, and it's just inconsistent. It's leading to more. It's basically a cash grab. It's not actually making kids safer. You can still run at 40 miles an hour through those streets, and it's just the cost of getting to your appointment or whatever you want to call it. To some people, it's the cost of just getting around, which is unacceptable. I think there are better ways to promote the safety of our school children than just saying, hey, we're going to charge the hell out of people out of speed cameras. Every community I've lived in has done that. You want to know what happened? They got rid of the cameras. Why? Because it was a cash grab. I mean, we got rid of red light cameras for that precise reason. People loved it. I thought it was crazy at first, but I did research, thought it was awesome. So if we're willing to entertain a motion through a supermajority, I'd love to address the issue of the the red light ticketing, not red light ticketing, the ticketing outside the school hours. That just doesn't make any sense to me. If you're willing to, Commissioner McCann, I don't want to hijack your item. I mean, you have a valid item too. Yeah.
Again, I have the statute right here, and 15 is a minimum, 20 is a maximum. As far as FDOT goes, their manual is for state roads, not for county roads. We have the authority in the county to actually maintain our own roads. 316.1985 D, C, says a municipality shall have the responsibility to maintain a school zone located in the municipality. Above that, it says B, the county shall have the responsibility to maintain a school zone located outside of any municipality and on a county road. There is absolutely no reason we can't have 20. And as far as this being a money grab, that is the biggest complaint they have. And the reason it's a money grab is because a lot of people don't know this, but at night, when the lights aren't on, or any time the lights aren't on, there's a posted speed limit. And if the speed limit is 30 and you go 41, it takes your picture and you get a citation. And yes, it is a civil citation. It's $100, but again, it's a money grab. So the thing is that we've looked at all the, again, we have our traffic study from January 2024, which shows too many people speeding through the cameras, obviously. But again, the safety has been determined, and you could look at federal statutes, you could look at state statutes. 20 is a safe speed on that road. And, for uniformity purposes, there's no reason it can't be 20. And we should also entertain a motion that says if the lights aren't on, there's no enforcement.
I'd make that.
I think Commissioner Bearden was next. My voting thing went down.
Yeah, it's Bearden, then County Attorney, then myself, then Commissioner Sadiq.
Okay, Commissioner Bearden.
So Commissioner Sadiq, are you wanting to make a motion to completely get rid of the cameras at the school zones and not ticket the citizens moving forward for speeding through those school zones? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Let's eliminate the ticketing outside the posted school hours. Let's start there, when the lights aren't flashing.
Well, they're not currently being ticketed currently.
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
If during the
Yes.
school time, literally
I
outside.
was told that they weren't.
No, they are.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the issue. So it was, my understanding when we agreed to it was that it was only going to be during that kind of like 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and then again when school let out.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing from citizens that that's not actually what's happening. They're being ticketed during the day.
That wasn't what they flat out told us it was gonna be all day. And
Yeah.
part of their logic was, well, kids leave school early and high schools, the
Yep.
kids don't go the whole
But
day. They told us that. That's why I
I
voted no
believe,
on the contract.
Courtney told me that it that it was being changed, that they were only doing it during school hours. That's the last conversation I had with
We
her.
had more recent
And
one
I don't
on
know if they changed that or what that might be, but that's what she told me.
I
Mr.
have someone
Bishop,
that
do you
got
have a,
ticket- I have someone that got a ticket yesterday,
at what
10
time?
o'clock at night.
So they haven't been
Way
able
outside
to
the scope of
Yeah,
any
that's-
discussion.
so maybe they haven't updated the systems yet?
That's strange.
Okay. So we just need an update if we're going to update those systems in regards to just the school hours. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I- My thing still isn't working, so
We have County Attorney, Commissioner Ballard on.
Pam, you're up.
The statute that's been referenced today is the statute that's relevant here, 316.1895, which pertains to establishing school speed zones. Subsection 2 of that explains that the department prepares and publishes a manual with their specifications and requirements, and counties must install and maintain their traffic and pedestrian control devices in conformity with that manual. So we are subject to the FDOT's rules relative to these types of speed enforcement. And while subsection 5 does reference that we can have between 15 and 20, the manual itself dictates, as Mr. Pilichowski stated, that if the regular speed is 35 miles an hour or greater, the speed zone shall be 20 miles an hour. If it is for a posted speed of less than 35, that's when we have the discretion to go to 15. So the manual does control, and that does dictate why we have a variance between the two speeds.
So with that clarification from the county attorney, I guess I can't say that I personally would be in favor of going with a speed limit of 20 miles per hour for all speed zones. But if we're not legally able to do so, if we're controlled by that FDOT manual, then I guess I'm not in, I mean, I'm still personally in favor of it, but I'm not going to vote for it if it's not legal. But I am very much in favor of removing enforcement on the cameras outside of the flashing hours, not school time, flashing hours. I don't want people being ticketed at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't want people being ticketed on their lunch breaks.
So I'm up next. I'll just be brief. I'd like to introduce that motion. So I'd just like to motion to direct our county staff to work to get the camera enforcement to only during the hours in which those. When the lights are flashing. This is the.
We're tired, dude.
Yeah.
We still have three more things. haven't we?
Chair,
And Carol wanted to talk about Platt's timing.
Chair. With all due respect, I don't have the right staff in the room. February 5th, the next, or 4th, the next agenda, it's very light. I get the
It's a week from today. In
Yeah.
fact, as this meeting goes on, we're getting closer and closer to our
Right.
next meeting.
Yeah, I'll have the right staff in the room. We'll do our research on what the hours are for the camera systems. I'll get all the statutes ready. I'll have Clark and Scott May in the room. So can we defer this until the next board
Commissioner
meeting?
McCann, is that okay?
I'll withdraw the motion and bring it back.
Thank you,
I
sir.
would like a copy of the policy manual that has shows that at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay? And the other thing is that the time is defined by statute on here too.
Mic is not on.
So.
Your mic, sir.
Time is also defined by statute on here too. So if our county attorney is saying that we cannot change the, anything in the statute, then, we can't change the times either.
Well,
Well, I don't think we're trying to change the times. We're trying to change the times that we're ticketing with the camera. And with Red Speed, we did have discretion over when they were going to do it. Like Holmes Beach doesn't do between school hours.
Yeah, I think it's important just to give staff clear direction with a motion. It seems like we're all 7-0 on this one, so I'd just like to, I'll restate the motion. Motion to direct staff to adjust the hours for speed enforcement to only when the lights are flashing in school zones.
and
Chair. Who wants to talk?
I'll ask.
Oh, go ahead.
I hate to always be throwing a monkey wrench into things, but this, the speed zone cameras was approved and adopted by ordinance 24-31. So
Let's
it-
take a look, because I have talked to staff, and I was told that we did have some discretion over when they were charging the tickets, whether that's within the ordinance, so I do
Right.
think we have discretion over that.
I just want them to look at it and make sure that if we have to amend the ordinance to do that, we do that correctly.
Well, it's easier to make the motion and then have to change it later than have to wait. All right. But, is anyone objecting to entertaining this motion?
No.
Of course not. I can, okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Sadiq, second by Commissioner Ballard. While I'm waiting for them to talk. John, do you have anything to say? All right. Anyone on the phones?
We have one caller ending in
Seriously.
782.
They do know it's 10:40 at night. All right.
No, you guys are ridiculous. I actually was on here because I actually wanted to make a public comment about Bob's moratorium, so I can let you guys finish this.
We need a name for the record.
I guess the other people gave up, but. But you never came back to us. You said you were gonna come back to us about that, but you never did.
I don't know. You said you were going to say your name, but you didn't, so.
Oh, Paula, I'm sorry, it's
Okay,
Paula.
thanks.
It's Paula Lonis, sorry.
No, I knew the last name after you said the first name. Okay. All right. Anyone else on the phone?
No.
Okay, closing public comment. Commissioner McCann is still on the board. Did you have more to say with the motion?
No, I withdrew it.
Well, Tal made a new motion to direct staff to adjust speed enforcement only to when lights are flashing in a school zone. And nobody objected to him bringing that motion forward.
If we have that authority, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think that's where we all kind of went with it. Okay. No one else on the board? Motion by Commissioner Sadiq, second by Commissioner Ballard. Cast your votes now. And cross your fingers. That passes unanimously, 7-0. Is there anything else on this topic? So you were going, next Tuesday, County Administrator Bishop, you're going to have staff here to discuss this in more detail about speed limits?
We'll put it on the agenda tomorrow, sir.
All right, I appreciate that.